All right, bot should be in. I think it's able to hear us. Thank you for
Hello.
everybody in the audience. I think I forgot how to drive for half a second. So, hello, welcome to the Chessbait Drivecast, where Cheesebait
Howdy,
learns how to
howdy.
drive on the spot. It's like riding a bike. Just figure it out. All right, this week's special guest. If you want to introduce yourself real quick.
Hello, I'm Fakebox. I was once here in the past, but it's been a while since I've been on one. So
Yeah,
nice
I'm
to
not
meet you
gonna
all.
lie. It's been genuinely like years since I've done the Drivecast consistently, so I feel really bad for not knowing who's been on, who hasn't. Like, I mean, yes, I can list off a number of people that have been on. I'd probably end up forgetting a person or two. I do apologize, but you know, honestly, someone should probably quiz me on how many people have like been on the Drivecast, because I genuinely don't think I'd be able to name everybody. Because there's been people that were supposed to be on it that never were, people that were on it that aren't really active anymore, etc.
Yeah, a lot has definitely changed.
Oh, quite a lot. And to everybody who else watching in the audience, watching on YouTube, Spotify, hopefully, if I actually get the Drivecast up again. It does exist on Spotify, it's just I forgot to keep up with it, unfortunately. But that's besides the point. We apologize in advance if, one, I sound a little crunchy. Unfortunately, I'm working off my... I have to kind of drive while doing the Drivecast. That's kind of the whole point of this. So unfortunately, I have to talk from my phone, and more importantly, my Bluetooth speaker in my car, so it's going to sound a little crunchy on my end. And for Fakebox's end, he's let me know that he's probably going to stutter here and there, which, he's been very transparent about having that issue in the past, so
I
shouldn't
do
really be too much of
apologize
an issue.
if you cannot understand me sometimes. I'm working on it.
Anyways, the good news is, as always, for this season, I've had, every guest prepare a list of topics that we want to talk about. Something that's a little, not necessarily topical, something we can talk about that lets you know when we're recording it, but doesn't really make it sound, make the Drivecast sound dated, so that we can go back to it whenever you want.
Yeah.
I also do apologize. There's no guarantee that my net's gonna work everywhere, because this neighborhood is sketch as fuck, and there is no guarantee that I am going to be able to stay online, stay on this call consistently for that long.
But ideally, it will be.
Ideally. Yeah, anyways, let's get the show on the road, no pun intended.
Aha. Funny coin joke.
I hear that. Yeah. I hear that you wanted to talk about some of the stuff about Mojang. You want to get into it real quick?
Yeah, sure, let's start with that. I mean, all of us haven't played Minecraft recently, so it seems finished to talk about it, kind of in a sense.
And as usual, I'm probably gonna say what footage I have in the background. Most likely, like a couple of days or a week from when I'm recording this. Most likely, I have footage of me playing in the which Minecraft server is it? The legacy one you guys mentioned.
Yep, it's 1.8.
Yeah, I've already told everybody who's in the server that I'm only gonna play it to get Drivecast footage. Which, hey, you guys are probably watching right now if you're watching on YouTube. That's pretty cool.
She's making a good build. We'll see. I'm sure we'll be.
Anyways, yeah. You wanted to talk about some of the lawsuit stuff with Mojang right now?
Yeah, just stuff with what's going on. For anyone who doesn't know, right now, Mojang is facing a potential lawsuit because they violated the EULA and user license agreement. Okay, so Cheese, do you know anything about that?
Not really. I mean, I know what the EULA is, but I don't know exactly what they broke.
Yeah, so just summarize it. Essentially, when a company has, the policy. Well, I guess go back a little bit. Pretty much, this guy, the guy who did a lawsuit, he wanted to make a server based off a really old one. It was like a gun server, like they have guns. But personally not mine, but to each their own. That's the beauty of Minecraft. It's a sandbox. And essentially, one day he got an email from Mojang saying that, that violates our terms of service or EULA, etc. And the big thing was that the EULA hadn't been up, and all the stuff hadn't been updated in 3 years. So they were essentially pulling it out of the A-Wood.
So since the EULA wasn't up to date, technically, he wasn't. Technically, they couldn't stop him from what he's doing now, since I'm assuming the license was outdated.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, they shouldn't technically be able to because, it wasn't current. But obviously, the company and corruption. So I believe he did take it down, but wait, what's it called? Yeah, pretty much. The funniest part is they actually did change it quite recently. But the biggest thing that is concerning, essentially, is that the same day that they changed the EULA, they also released a snapshot. They released a new version update, and guess what got advertised on Twitter and a sort. Not the EULA change, just the massive game updates. So not only were they,
they're probably trying to bury all the news with the snapshot, since everybody's just going to talk about that.
Pretty much just being shady and hiding stuff that, because if you literally anyone who's ever subscribed or been to service, you always get those emails saying, "Hey, we've updated our terms of service." And
yeah, they're required to do that by law.
Yeah, it's slightly different for Mojang because they're in Sweden. But if anything, it's actually a bit harsher in Sweden. The laws there regarding consumer copyright.
Yeah.
So pretty much, they're just not doing what they're supposed to. And so the biggest thing is just the fact that they're just being shady and not really being transparent, and just pretty much they actually stated in a past update that pretty much, I can't remember the exact words, but it essentially just says we can change our terms of service whenever you want, and it's up to you to check it, which obviously is not legal.
That's a little, yeah. Even Steam, when they update their terms of service, they always make sure that they, when you open Steam, the first thing that you see is, here's our new terms of service. You have to read it all, accept it. That's, even if it's just an email, they have to make sure that you see it in one way or another.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it's really just any service you use, they always let you know in some way, even though
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much that's just the big thing right now, and it doesn't help
I'm not
too.
gonna lie.
When
it comes to license agreements and such, we saw it with the I think it was earlier this year, maybe it was last year. The you remember the incident with that one, was it a marine biologist or something that was at Disney World, and she ended up having an allergic reaction to the food at one of the restaurants, and the husband or fiance, I couldn't remember. The guy couldn't sue Disney World because apparently they have a Disney Plus account, and their EULA agreement in there means that they couldn't sue. Which obviously, the higher courts looked at that contract and said, yeah, this isn't realistic. You shouldn't be able to do this. We're not gonna this contract isn't binding, since you can't just force somebody to not be able to sue you, or at least go a little bit, pursue a proper court proceeding just because someone uses some other product, that they happen to own. That's the equivalent of, I don't know, if you happen to buy a Coke product, that means some other. Sorry, so hard for me to talk at the same time as driving when I'm in a congested area. Anyways, I'm gonna switch to Pepsi because I know what Pepsi owns. It's the equivalent of honestly, I can't even think of a good example off the top of my head, but it's just so stupid that companies can own multiple things and they can just block you from be able to have any litigation because of two things that are completely unrelated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the fact that the guy had a Disney Plus account shouldn't have anything to do with the fact that someone on the attraction got not only hurt but legitimately died from that incident. Like,
Yeah, that's
the
like,
fact that the company just doesn't care is a little concerning.
I mean, yeah, it's terrible. I mean, that's a literal human life, and the fact that I can just be almost ignored like that is just, just not right.
Exactly. I mean, Mojang's also not exactly had the squeakiest clean reputation in the past either, considering they've kind of gone downhill ever since they got bought by Microsoft. Not saying that everything that they've done is bad. Obviously, they've had plenty of good additions and a lot of additions that make playing the game a lot easier, which I'm aware that that's what Mojang's trying to do, especially with, like, I know Ruined Portals wasn't a thing until very recently, where Mojang's trying to show, hey, this is what you're supposed to do in the game without making it too obvious, while still adding a bit of lore. But I don't know,
I mean, stuff like that. I mean, there's like the Redstone room in the ancient cities, and I believe there's also Redstone somewhere else, but I can't remember. But yes, something like that definitely does help.
The game just feels way too corporate nowadays. I mean, it's obvious. It's owned by Microsoft, who's been trying to buy different companies left and right just for their stupid Xbox Live Pass. But
oh boy, yep, that's a whole can of worms right there.
That's a can of worms I'll get to another time. We're not here to discuss about that. I don't know, man. I just miss the old Minecraft. Like, I know it makes me sound like such a boomer, but every new snapshot that comes out feels like one step forward, two steps back.
Yeah.
Like, there's constantly things that people are complaining about. The fact that they're trying to constantly patch up bugs that are honestly just more helpful than not. Like, the fact that they got rid of string duping recently, like, that was one of the easiest ways for people to, grind emeralds, and the fact that they got rid of it after all this time is kind of annoying.
Yeah, it definitely is a bit of an odd change by now, because it's been, in the input quite a while.
Exactly. And
it does help
the fact
too,
that they
like,
spent... I'm convinced that Mojang spends more time working on their April Fool's stuff than the actual game.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, some stuff they've seen, like, the infamous poisonous potato, whole new dimension, all that stuff. But
yeah,
I mean, I feel like also important to realize that sometimes, I mean, Mojang is owned by Microsoft, which is a corporation, and so, it's just like approval and stuff too. I think it's kind of why too they want to, like, if they change too much, people complain. If they change too little, people will complain. So it's kind of like, how do you please so many people when the community is so big?
I don't even think they're trying to please people at this point. Like, at this point, they're just trying to think of ideas that could possibly stick and at least add to the game without being too much.
Yeah.
Like, the whole reason the Warden was added was because people realized that the game was way too easy, and it's really hard for people to die when you reach that late stage of a game. So you add a whole new, not just biome, no, structure, that's what I was looking for. You add a whole new structure, you add a whole new mob, you add all this extra lore to, make the world seem a little bit more filled in, make it seem a little bigger. Which, again, after a while, people figure out how to beat the Warden pretty easily, just because it's got, so big of a range. The game becomes easy again, and kind of just repeats the cycle.
Yeah. It's
like, I remember like back in the day, in the early versions of Minecraft, when the Wither was like still very beatable, but at least a challenge. Now it's just another means to an end. It's you beat it, you get another star, you get a beacon, just move on with your life, you know?
Yeah. I mean, a good example is just like you see like all these videos that like they're like hardcore, but yet they're all like the perfect start, and it's like episode 1. Like
Exactly. Like you look at the Minecraft shorts where the goal is to get iron, to get diamond. Like these are materials that used to be so hard to come by back like in the earliest days of Minecraft. And now you can just go into some random structure and find it, automatically.
yeah, it definitely is a good, I guess almost debate of what it's like. It's cool to have all these. It's very cool to have all these like new structures, all this new stuff. But the more you add, the easier it is to find the stuff like that.
It also sucks.
More common.
I mean, it also sucks that the probabilities of finding items in certain places are just way skewed. Like, I remember someone made a YouTube short about, what was it? About the archaeology update and how nobody would bother doing any of that because the loot is just absolutely horrendous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most people do not care about pottery shards and just the good old the sniffer exists.
Yeah, the idea behind pottery shards is cool and all. It's just the snapshot just feels like a mod to me. It doesn't feel like it fits in Minecraft the way that you brush up certain architects and try to artifacts and slowly trying to dust away bits of sand until you find pieces like that. That seems like something you'd get from a mod, not vanilla Minecraft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very different playstyle. I'll admit that much.
It's like there's a very fine line between what seems normal and what doesn't. Like I know the piston and sticky piston, I'm pretty sure, was something that Sheb was working on for such a long time. Way back in the day. Like this was when redstone was still like very basic. And I remember hearing about how some modder figured it out. And Jeb basically just said, hey, like we can credit you, we can like pay you for this, like teach us how to, implement pits in Minecraft because this is a pretty cool mod and would basically revolutionize the game. And now it's a staple of redstone engine.
Yeah. Pistons are cool. They can do so much. They can move. I mean, yeah. I'm sure. I mean, heck, that I'm not sure. I'm going by then. You have a clip of it, but that what do you call it? Back on the normal Jackass server, I built like a piston. It's like a castle gate, and it's like the pistons.
I mean, like without pistons, you wouldn't have most Minecraft like intricate door entrances. You wouldn't have a lot of intricate staircases, intricate elevators. Like obviously, you could still make those stuff, but it wouldn't be nearly as well implemented.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else. I need to go back to the list. Honestly, forget the stuff that we were going to talk about.
I mean, I guess it depends on. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I would say yeah. If you want to talk about like lawsuits or game updates more, I say I guess it depends on which one you want to lean towards.
I mean, if you have a specific video game lawsuit you want to go into, by all means.
No, that was really it. I mean, the only really example was the the whole, speaking of the drama you said in the past, it was the whole account migration, but.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I feel like that one's pretty simple to explain. That doesn't need to touch on too much.
But on the topic of companies that like to send a lot of lawsuits, let's talk about a certain Nintendo.
Yeah. They've been.
I hear you wanted to talk about Mario Party.
Yeah, the new one. I haven't quite gotten it yet, but I've actually been watching videos, which is really.
I haven't gotten it either. I've seen a lot of videos too.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. And honestly, I suppose it's one thing to talk about it versus actually play it. I'll admit that much. But honestly, I think it's pretty decent. It has some pretty cool modes.
I feel like Mario Party is at such a weird crossroads right now because clearly Nintendo wants to continue with the Super titles, like what is it? They started with Super Mario Party. They got Super Mario Party. What Jamboree is it called?
Yep, Jamboree.
And like I get the direction where they want to go. I think Super Mario Party, the first one, was a good idea in concept because like the whole idea of you know adding more Mario Party characters to your team and having them all team together to progress on every board is a very interesting concept. It's just the fact that the boards itself in Super Mario Party were just the worst.
Yeah, they function, but like keyword just function. It's really good.
Like they were boring. They didn't really have too many gimmicks applied to them. They didn't really seem all that exciting, and kind of left people wanting more. At least personally, myself.
Yeah. I mean, that's the funny spot. Super Mario Bros. One of those games where like, I actually saw people like just like avoid it, which is kind of sad. Because usually, for Mario Party, at least some people play it, but I can never find too much content for Super Mario Party, which is kind of sad. Everyone always play like Superstars or like a GameCube classic.
I think that's another issue with Mario Party at the moment. It's the fact that Nintendo doesn't really know what it wants to prioritize, because obviously it's the new game Jamboree, it wants to prioritize that, so it's trying to clearly go down the Super Mario Party route. But there's people that still prefer the old stuff, which I'm gonna lump in Superstars with the old stuff just because it has old boards, it has old mini games. It's just basically a remake, which I'll talk about remake later. But I don't think Nintendo really knows where it wants to take Mario Party next, because I feel like they were just kind of forced to release another Mario Party game just because it's been a couple of years and people not necessarily got tired of Superstars, because people still play Superstar. It's just everybody reached level 99 on their profile, basically completed every single mini game, completed every single board at least a couple dozen times. There's only so much Mario Party you can play before it kind of gets stale.
I mean, it's kind of thing when a game only has 5 maps, and that's all it gets. But
I mean, the funny thing is that like so many Nintendo Directs, people have been begging for more maps, which is why Jamboree came out as such a surprise. Like everybody thought that it would be DLC, which is clearly where Nintendo has been relying on for a lot of franchises, including Mario Kart, including Pokemon.
Oh yeah, Pokemon's its own fucking can of worms too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like the fact that all of these big franchises have been relying on DLC for more content, and the fact that Nintendo's not really doing anything with Mario Party Superstars is just absolutely puzzling.
Yeah, it really is. There's just some games that's like, I like some games get DLC, and then I feel like some that should just don't. It's a really odd choice, especially when it's like Superstars. I mean, the whole point of it is kind of like, it's kind of meant to be like the old boards, the old mini games. Like it's kind of meant to like revigorate that in a way, and yet it kind of like just stops.
You have to play through each board to unlock new ones, or to unlock characters, or unlock new mini games and whatnot. You already have the game completed, essentially right from the start, which kind of limits you on how much you can really do with the game. Like imagine if you had like 4 unlockable characters, and then each DLC gave you like 2 new boards and with 10 new mini games.
You're cutting out for me. Jeez. Your mic's dying. I have no clue what he's saying. Oops.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I probably went to like a bad dead part of the neighborhood. There's a lot of trees here.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, I guess just a few were just saying.
Yeah, imagine if that's nostalgia for a lot of the old boards.
Yeah, I heard like half of that, but I think you said something about the I think unlockables, right? Just pretty much unlockables and progression. That's pretty much you're getting at. Yeah. And yeah, that I can definitely agree with. I mean, I feel like that's a kind of an issue with actually a good chunk of Mario games. I mean, there was Mario Deluxe, which, as you know, it already has everything unlocked, unlike the original. And then I believe Strikers, like new, if you would, a lot of stuff is already unlocked too. It's just like a weird thing where a lot of games a lot of Nintendo games are doing that now, where there's like no really progression anymore. Just have everything unlocked, and it really drains that feeling of like lasting.
I mean,
in a way.
At the very least, with the new Strikers game, the thing I like about it is the fact that all the characters are unlocked, but the gear isn't. So as you play more often, as you progress through the game, you get more coins, you unlock more of the gear. You can customize which characters get more of which stats, which is really helpful.
Yeah.
Like, I personally don't know which stats are most important in Strikers Battle League, but the fact that you get to customize the characters a lot more is definitely a major plus.
Yeah, some cool. Yeah, there's definitely some cool stuff, but yeah, just some like going back to Mario Party, just like an odd state where it's like, yeah, I mean it gets new releases, but like it overall as a game is like seems kind of like awkward. It's like mixed between like what it wants.
I mean, what do you think Mario Party is gonna go from where it is right now?
I mean, I don't know. That's a really hard question. That's honestly a pretty hard question. So I'm gonna be honest. Growing up, the only Mario Party games I grew up with just I played a lot of Mario Party DS. That's like that one's one of my favorites. And then
I gotcha.
I've played with Superstars, and then a bit of Mario Party. Was it 8? I think it was 7. Like it's the one that has the day-night cycle. I think that's 6 or 7.
The day-night cycle is.
I think it's 6.
Is that? It might be 6. I'm pretty sure.
So yeah, I can't exactly say too much, but
I mean, let me run through the Mario Party real quick.
Yeah.
I remember one was janky as heck because the boards were really clunky. The CPUs were absolutely busted. Nothing made sense in Mario Party 1.
Yeah.
I mean, choose the iconic one, since like everybody remembers every board. Everybody remembers every single item. Like, let me just run through the boards real quick. Cowboy. Which one is it? The Western one. Is it Cowboy Land?
I can't remember what it's called.
Western Land. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because it has the it has the wiggle note.
Trade.
Well, yeah. Multiple things.
There's Spaceland, which I think is the one that returned in Superstars, right?
Yep, it did.
There's a Horrorland.
Yep, popular one too.
That one's pretty popular. I'm trying to remember what the other ones were. I don't want to spend too much time thinking about it, but like I know 2 is widely considered I don't want to say the best one, but like one of the most popular ones. Yeah, like, a lot of the most popular games are from there too.
Yeah, I just love the boards and mini games.
3 was basically just 2, but with like more boards and more mini games.
Mm-hmm. I will say
4.
One thing that's cool about the older ones is like one thing I really liked was the Bowser boards, and it's cool that Jamboree has one, so it's kind of cool. That's kind of a return to that, because they're all really difficult, and I like that because it's kind of a bit different from your other boards.
4, if I remember correctly, was the first GameCube one, which I think means... Is that the one with capsules? Or is that 5?
I believe it's 5, though don't quote me.
Okay, so 5... I don't honestly remember much about 4. I don't really hear people talking about that one really much.
Yeah, 4 just kind of... It happened.
Because when it comes to the GameCube ones, like 5 is pretty well known because of the capsules. 6 is well known because of the day-night cycle. And 7, I think is 7 the one that had the microphone?
I think so. Yeah. I believe there's so many. No, it wasn't 8. Oh fudge, I can't remember.
No, because 8 was the one for the Wii, so 7 must have been the one with the microphone.
Okay, yeah, it's 7 then, yeah.
Because I remember 8 was the one with the candies, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Because I remember playing a lot of 8 and 9, and a little bit of DS when my friend would come over. And then what? 9 was... Wait, no, let me go back. Yeah, 8 was the one with the candies. 9 is the one in the cart, is it?
I thought it was 10. Or was it 9?
No, 9 also had the cart, because I remember, I don't remember if the 9 was for the Wii or the Wii U, but I remember that's the one where they changed companies from Hudson to somebody else. So they ended up having the stars and Zdars with a Z.
Yep.
And then I'm pretty sure 10 was for what? The Wii U, and that's the one with Bowser in it?
Yep. Yeah, it was.
Those were some dark days. Like between... Like the fact that the Island Paradise Mario Party, I don't remember what it's called. Tropical... I don't remember what it's called. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, I unfortunately wouldn't know either.
Tropical... No.
Wait, I didn't even know if we could. I didn't even know that a board. I didn't even know that a Mario Party even existed on the Wii U until like a couple years back. It's kind of funny.
That's fair. I mean, that's when Nintendo was going through a lot of dark times. That's probably why they're so stingy today, just because they knew what it was like to not be successful, so they're trying to grasp onto it as much as they can while they still can. Like, between the Switch Amiibos and all the games that they're just pumping out nowadays, like, the Switch's library is concerningly, like, well-rounded.
Yeah, it's got some really good games. I mean, like pretty much, if it exists, the franchise, then yeah, it's probably on there.
Like, you name most franchises, like, big-name franchises, and they'll have a Switch game. Like, maybe except for, like, F-Zero, but, like, F-Zero has F-Zero 99. I mean, they're never gonna release another good Star Fox game anyway, so who cares? But, besides that, name a franchise they probably have this for the Switch.
Or just for the Switch? I would say Xenoblade, but it's not because it's on the Wii.
No, Xenoblade, there's a couple Xenoblade releases for the Switch. Because I think they released 3 for the Switch as well, alongside the Wii U. And I think they also have... I don't remember if it's like the trilogy, but like they re-released some of the older Xenoblade games onto the Switch as well.
Yeah, I know, like the original definitive, like the definitive edition.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, like, I mean, there's also Splatoon on the Switch. Now got 2 and 3. That's pretty cool.
Exactly. Like they have so much. Honestly, I imagine how cool it'd be if they like released a like a definitive edition for Splatoon. Just for people who didn't get to play through the campaign of the earlier games, because I'm pretty sure isn't Splatoon 3 the one with the highest number of sales?
I don't quite know. I don't know too much about Splatoon.
Fair enough. That's more of a Blosher question, I guess, or Blosher or Lightning question, I guess. I see the chat. Oh, that was from like 30 minutes ago. Damn. Anyways, let's move on from Mario Party, considering we've talked about that enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said that we circle back to the problem with having video game remakes, which Superstars just happens to be one. I mean, it's one of the better examples of video game remakes, but I know you have certain issues with video game companies re-releasing and remaking stuff all the time, so if you want to have the floor with that for a bit.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, pretty much I just wanted to talk about how, because recently there's been a lot of remakes. Like, I mean, I like it in a way, because obviously not everyone got to experience the original game, so in a way it makes it more accessible, and that's definitely a good thing. But the problem is that there are times where, like, there's a lot of remakes of stuff, and it feels more like almost like a nostalgic attempt than to make an actual new idea. I'm kind of blanking out here. Oops.
I mean, if you want two good examples just from Nintendo themselves, like I can give you two games that I'm literally playing on, the other channel, Super Mario RPG and Thousand Year Door, which I'm not gonna lie to you, one definitely feels like a better remake than the other. Just because, like Super Mario RPG has been needing a remake for such a long time now.
I mean, yes,
like, I hate to say it, but like the art style from Super Mario RPG is a little dated. I'm gonna be honest, the music's probably better in the older version than the recent version, just because I feel like they kind of rushed, not remastering, but recreating all the songs from the original. But like the story still holds up today. Obviously, nobody's gonna remember any of the characters, but I mean, there's plenty of characters from Mario that nobody ever remembers anyway. So that's besides the point. But that game, was pretty niche within the Mario community for such a long time, and having it recreated, maybe not the most faithfully, but at least faithful enough to where people can enjoy the game, was definitely a nice touch.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I bought it, and I've never played the original, so it's really, that was really nice. I got to like enjoy it. What was essentially like the first Mario RPG. It's kind of cool.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. That's the game that birthed. What is it? Super Mario RPG? No, sorry. Super Mario RPG is the thing that birthed, Paper Mario, Mario and Luigi. I don't know if there's any other RPGs that are based off of it.
I mean, yeah, it was quite, I'd say, important overall for because there's been a lot of, like, there's a surprising amount of more RPGs, and I love RPGs, so it's kind of a win.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, I love Mario Luigi. That's probably my favorite one.
I'm not gonna lie, the ups and downs that both of those series have faced, also I kind of feel bad about, just because Mario and Luigi deserved better. But the fact that they shut down Alpha Dream is just an absolute shame.
Yeah, it's very sad.
I mean, at the very least, the new Mario and Luigi game looks promising. I do look forward to buying and playing it whenever I have the time.
Yes,
it's just I hate the. Okay? I know this makes this video a little bit dated. Have you seen the footage of IGN playing the newest Mario and Luigi game?
I don't think I have yet.
So obviously, like one main component of that series is like combo attacks between the brothers.
Mm-hmm.
IGN gave the newest Mario and Luigi game like a pretty bad score.
Yeah, 6, right?
Because they couldn't.
Yeah, 6.
Because,
I believe.
yeah, because they couldn't figure out how to do the combo attacks. Like you look at footage from the journalist, and you could clearly tell this person was not meant to play video games because they cannot figure out how to like do the combo attacks. And it's just like these are the people rating our video games. Why?
Yeah, it's. I mean, IG at this point is just kind of a joke.
I mean, IGN's obvious. Like they've been a joke, and like
those
they will.
reviews are just so questionable.
I mean, they've been a joke and will continue to be a joke for years on end. It's just like, why do you guys keep rating video games when nobody's gonna take you seriously anymore? You know? Anyways, besides that, the other remake that I wanted to compare RPG to was Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, just because I get it. Nintendo's been relying on nostalgia bait for a long time now, and I don't know. Like the GameCube doesn't really seem that too long ago. Like if you boot up, you know, on the Wii, on the GameCube, wherever you want it. If you were to, or even on the doesn't Nintendo Switch Online have a GameCube library now?
I don't know. I don't know about that one. I haven't heard of it, but I could be wrong.
I'm pretty sure it does. Like, if you were to replay Thousand Year Door on any of those libraries, the game still very much holds up nowadays. Like,
yeah.
The original game as it is doesn't really need that much retooling. I don't really understand why Nintendo would purposely re-release the Thousand Year Door when they could just trying to improve. First of all, they could have re-released the original Paper Mario, which is a much older game. It's for a much older console because that was out for the N64. Like, as someone who's played through that game before, I think a re-release of that would have been much more warranted. Like I could still play Thousand Year Door on my Dolphin emulator. I could still play it on my Wii if I wanted to. It is not that old of a game, and it still very much holds up. It's still one of my favorite video games of all time. I don't really understand the reasoning behind releasing the Thousand Year Door again.
Yeah, it's definitely been a choice, but I mean, I think at some point they made that just, I mean, what makes more hype? Thousand Year Door or the original Paper Mario?
I mean, obviously Thousand Year Door, but like it feels hollow when you like re-release the most popular one instead of maybe trying to bundle the original.
You're cutting out. Sorry.
There's still going to be a bunch of people that are going to buy it anyways. It's like the same thing with 3D All-Stars. Galaxy 2 doesn't exist, but still everybody's going to buy it because they want to replay their favorite games for the new, for another console. Like at the very least, when the Switch was re-releasing games for the Wii U, Nintendo, acknowledged the fact that not necessarily everybody's going to have a Wii U. They're gonna, just write off the Wii U as a relative failure. Relative being the operative word. And, move on with the Switch, which was meant to be their next big thing, which no surprise, was a pretty big hit. At least in that sense, it makes sense to re-release games just to keep the circulation of the Wii U alive, or not Wii U, but the Switch alive. Make it have a again a more well-rounded library of games.
Yeah, because overall, the library of Switch isn't bad. Like, I really enjoy it. There's a lot of games for like a lot of people.
Exactly.
But, yeah, there's times like this. There's some remakes that's like, yeah, it definitely does feel like a bit of a nostalgia bait.
I mean, it also hurt me when I found out that I think it was for the 3DS. Didn't they re-release what is it? Superstar Saga, and they re-released Superstar Saga and Partners in Time, but like mixed it with like side mini game, kind of like what they did with 3D World and Bowser's Fury.
I don't think I quite know that one, but very interested to hear about it.
If I remember correctly, I think they combined Superstar Saga with like a Puzzles and Dragon Mario edition, which is basically just more of it's just a Candy Crush, knockoff. I mean, that's being a little mean to Puzzle and Dragons as someone who's played that in the past, but that's essentially what it is. It's just one of those match 3 tiles and do damage to some enemy in a dungeon, etc.
Alright. Oh, interesting. I really didn't know about that. But that sounds kind of terrible.
Like, I just don't understand re-releases for the sake of re-releasing. Again, like, at least 3D World plus Bowser's Fury made somewhat sort of sense. Because, again, not everybody's gonna have a Wii U, but 3D World was still, like, a pretty big success for how bad the Wii U was as a console. So, it makes sense if you, re-release it to a bigger audience, which is, the Switch's fan base. You're probably gonna have a lot more sales. And for the people who, originally had 3D World on the Wii U, they get to experience a whole new, side game in Bowser's Fury, which, if I'm being honest, I probably enjoyed Bowser's Fury more than I did with 3D World. Just because, the game world is a lot more open. I miss those type of collectathon games, like you used to with, like Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, they're really fun. Just the fact that you just keep on going, and like there's so much to collect. Like, it's a long journey, but it's kind of the point. It's just you enjoying it, the journey.
And like it's not necessarily supposed to be like a time-intensive game either. You could finish the game within like a day if you really wanted to. It's not necessarily the hardest game to finish. It's but that's not the whole point. It's just supposed to be a fun, relaxing side story that you can hop in whenever you wanted to. Like, after finishing the game, I still like walking around the overworld every now and then, just because it's just fun to walk around the same way you like walking around in like the overworld in Breath of the Wild.
Definitely. For me, I mean, my game that was a collectathon was I actually had a PS2. And I had the original Battlefield Bikini Bottom, and that game was my collectathon. It was so fun. I got every spatula, I got every sock, and even then, I still explored the hub world and just played around forever. Really fun game.
I find it funny that you mentioned that, considering that's one of the games that they re-released for the Switch.
Oh yeah, you're right. I never bought the remake, but yeah. Actually, right there, I forgot it had a remake.
Again, I mean, that's also, the PS2 is also relatively old, like, I get it.
I mean, it's 23 years now? 25? I don't know, it's somewhere around that's... Yeah,
the PS2, wasn't the PS2 out, like, the same era as the GameCube?
It was somewhere. It was sometime in the 2000s. I know that much, like early 2000s. So
I mean,
yes.
I guess if that's the case, it kind of makes sense that they're re-releasing Thousand Year Door, since all those games came out around the same era, around 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean that's too a big thing. One thing that I actually really don't like is the fact like some games like Battle King Bomb, they get discounted and they're like a reasonable price because the remake. Heck, you could even take the Metroid Prime remake. It was actually at a pretty good price. But then some games, which are remakes, still charge the full 60, if not, and like never drop. Like
Exactly.
that kind of thing too. Some remakes actually are kind of reasonable at the prices, while some just expect like a brand new game price, which is really dumb.
I mean, the issue is that with certain remakes, if it's a big enough brand or a big enough IP, they know that people are still going to continue buying it for that price. So they're going to hold out at full price for as long as they can without dropping, which, it sucks. It's annoying. All the companies care about at the end of the day is their money. As long as, they get their profit margins and get as much money as they possibly could from the consumer, they don't really care past that.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad that that's what it's come to, but, that's just the reality of how things work in the video game industry.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you're gonna have your exceptions, especially with like indie games. You're gonna have developers that are a lot more reasonable and they're a lot fairer with their pricing. Especially, like I've heard of certain indie developers. They like to change their price based off of where you live in the world, because obviously, $60 to an American is probably going to be worth a lot less than like $60 to, let's say, like a Brazilian or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So obviously, in those, in different countries with, less socioeconomic advantages, they're gonna obviously lower the price. That way, more people can afford it. Because at the end of the day, as long as more people are talking about the game, as long as more people are playing the game, it doesn't hurt to earn less, or even to, sell games at a slight loss, just to make sure that people actually, have the experience of, this is a pretty cool game, it should be shared with others as much as possible.
Exactly. You can actually enjoy it. Because, heck, especially right now, game price is actually pretty high. Just,
Absolutely. The fact that companies are considering upping the price of video games from 60 to 70 now.
Or even 80 in some cases.
Yeah, like, especially if you get like definitive edition. Sometimes they'll even go up to like 100 to like 150, just because they're willing to add a little bit of DLC, like an extra character, maybe some game rare item that is just going to make the game a lot easier.
Mm-hmm, it's crazy. I was looking on the Microsoft Store, and there was like this like Tekken. I think it was Tekken 6, like the new one, because it was like a digital deluxe something. It was like $105. Like, boy, it's a lot of money.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And honestly, just any game is that's the thing too. If games don't charge you a lot at the start, what they get you is the DLC. Like take Pokemon, or even take like Call of Duty, all the microtransactions, and really just any game that has a freaking storefront. Look at Minecraft. Freaking Bedrock has a storefront. Going back to that. Well, Java,
I don't want to talk about Bedrock storefront. Dude, I tried picking up, because mobile also uses Bedrock, right?
Yes, it does.
I tried picking up Minecraft Mobile, like, for the first time a couple of years ago. I'm like, I cannot play this. Like, I miss old Pocket Edition, because the nice thing about Pocket Edition felt like it felt like you could do whatever you want, wherever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Bedrock just seems so alien. Like nothing about it makes sense. Nothing about it feels right.
Yeah, Bedrock definitely had some issues, but yeah, my point is just like almost any game now has it'll charge in some way, whether it's upfront DLC or microtransactions.
I mean, the issue with Bedrock version also is the fact that Mojang doesn't really care about it. Like, people joke about how whenever there's an upgrade in Java Edition, the fact that it's gonna take like a whole decade before it reaches Bedrock because a lot of the good features to exist in just aren't come to Bedrock.
You cut out.
Oh, I was just saying how most of the good stuff that exists in Bedrock not Bedrock, all the good features that are added to Java just never will show up in Bedrock.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing too. Like modern Mojang, I guess the modern one really. Is pretty much anything that like doesn't feel like a set standard will essentially just never really happen. I mean, or like pretty much what we consider a feature. A feature could be a bug, like there was like the back then the color bulb, the 1 tick pulse, or like 0 tick, one of those, and then they changed that because yeah, they just wanted to. Really, so it's just stuff like that. It's almost like they want it's a sandbox, but yet they have like these restrictions. It's really odd. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I get it. If certain features happen to absolutely break a game, patching it makes sense, but if certain features of a game give players advantages, and it doesn't cause the game too many issues, I don't really get what's the point of trying to get rid of them. I don't know. Yeah, what's up?
I don't know. I thought you cut out again, but it was just too pausy. I can't tell the difference sometimes.
I mean, like I said, it could just be the fact that I'm in a bad area.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I just
Alright, I'm meaning to move on to the next topic anyways, so let's just move on to it.
Yeah,
I wanted to talk about... What was it again? Oh, changes in Discord and a lot of the, what did you mean by the issues that Sony's been having? Are you talking about the fact that a lot of their games recently have been performing poorly?
Yeah. I mean, really, it was just gaming in general. There's been a lot of issues with just a lot of companies recently.
I think the issue,
kind of ties back to what you're saying, the money. But yeah, there you go.
I think the issue with the video game industry right now is just the fact that there's too many things going on at once. So every release just doesn't really feel as big as they used to. Like, you're always constantly hearing about the new release that's coming out every month. You're constantly hearing about updates, DLCs, just announcements on who's working on what. Just because everybody is so interconnected in the space, it's so hard to appreciate when something does drop out. Like, oh, Call of Duty's releasing Black Ops 75. Oh, okay, that's cool. I guess I'll just, have fun with it for a month before moving on to, I don't know, another Halo remake or something. Like, there's always constantly something new that's gonna pop up, and a lot of it, the games, and obviously, this is partially the industry's fault, partially our fault. A lot of the games are starting to become a lot more homogenized to the point where, you look at one game, you look at another, and you can, pinpoint exactly where the similarities are. Like, for a good example, what is it called? Marvel Rivals, I think. the new Marvel MMO that came out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember.
You look at the game. Obviously, you could draw parallels to Overwatch, and people already are considering that most of the Overwatch fan base is moving over to Marvel Rivals since they consider it the superior game now.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those Overwatch players transferred over from TF2 back when Fortress 2 was still up and about. Like, there's always another game that's going to replace what you're already playing. So it's kind of hard for people to keep up with the constantly growing and changing trend. And not only that, but sometimes people go back and visit other games they used to play. A lot of us are going back to Minecraft. Obviously, a lot of our friends on our Discord play plenty of Geometry Dash, which is absolutely ancient game in terms of when it first released, at least compared to other games that are coming out nowadays. There's always going to be other video games that people like going back to, which is why it's so much harder for people to enjoy new stuff that's coming out when people are still holding on to some of the stuff that they enjoyed in the past. Like, there's more video games coming out now. Well, maybe not now than ever before, but there's always more being worked on now than ever before. Especially now with the rise of indie games from indie developers, who obviously not necessarily are going to release games quickly, but because there's so many of them, there's always constantly something new that people are looking forward to.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of a lot of layers to it. It's just simply
Exactly.
Yeah, I just found it interesting how it's funny how some games just really flop now. We don't talk about that, and some companies, because because Sony's got like a pretty good, I'd say they have a pretty good reputation, and at least in general.
Sony's also been pretty bad about re-releases too, just because.
Oh, The Last of Us has like 5 ports by now.
Exactly. Like, they've been re-releasing a bunch of the same 4 or 5 big franchises over and over again on the PS5, because that's really all they have right now. They while they're working on new content, they really don't have anything else they can push out. So they're like, screw it. Here's another remake from the PS3 or PS4 that nobody asked for, and slap a DLC on it because we don't know what the heck we're doing. I'm just kind of sick and tired of it.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I mean, it's kind of funny how it ties back to all remake talk, but yeah. Just companies like that, Sony, Nintendo, lots of ports, remakes, such. Because
honestly, I'm just glad that the GTA 5 remakes, not remake, but ports are finally stopping.
Oh yeah, will GTA GTA 6 release 2025, right? Oh, it's 2026. No, was it 25? Oh fudge, I can't remember. But yeah, it exists now, just after what, 11 years, I think. Kind of crazy, actually. But yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, sorry about that. My for some reason my phone tried connecting to a Wi-Fi, so I had really wonky net for a second there.
Okay.
But
that was just something I thought it was very interesting to discuss how some companies have really fallen from grace. It's funny how, on one hand, we're talking about Nintendo, right, and the Switch, and we're saying how, they got remakes, but the thing is, they still have the Switch still has a good game library. Well, the PS5, you can't really name it. You can't name any games on it that are really worth it because a lot of it's just remakes. So just small ones like, I mean,
I
you know,
mean, the issue with
there's Astrobot, but really,
I mean, the issue with the PS5 is that it's limiting itself to PS5 exclusive releases. So there's still like, there's like maybe 3-4 games on the PS5 that are really high quality, but like the PS5 is appealing to way too much of a group. Like the reason why the older PlayStations succeeded over Nintendo is because they were catering to such a wide audience that anybody could buy it and enjoy any game. Like if you look at the PS2 and PS3's libraries, like there was a game for literally anybody out there. Like that's the same reason why the Wii and the Switch are so popular, is because there's going to be a game that you like out of the massive library. At least with the PS5, you know, obviously a bunch of people are still going to buy it, but there's only so many video games that you can really enjoy out of its fairly limited library. And you know, a lot of the console exclusives, you know, that's what the PS5 kind of relies on to remain relevant. And unfortunately, a lot of, you know, those PS5 exclusives are tanking. I don't remember the name of the PS5 exclusive. The first person, I think it was first person, or was it a third person shooter? I forget. But whatever
I actually don't know.
There was some kind of shooter game that was come on the PS5 that just absolutely tanked.
Like,
I don't even. Yeah, it was Concord. That's what it was. Didn't they end up pulling it like 2-3 days after it came out?
Yeah, it existed. Past tense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, what's up?
Oh no, I just didn't. You cut out again.
No, you're good. The fact that they could spend billions of dollars, was it billions? Or $1 billion, I think it was, into a game like that, like over multiple years, and just scrap it as soon as they got it done, is just, I don't get it. The fact that the company can even stay afloat after making that big of a dud is absolutely astounding.
It really is. It also kind of shows you how big they really are. Damn.
I mean, that's true. I mean, obviously they're running a lot of, you know, goodwill, good faith in the past, but you know, obviously with a lot of companies, there's only so much that people can take before they get sick of it.
Definitely.
All right. Well, speaking of getting sick of things, I am a little bit sick of talking, and I'm almost home, so I think this might be a good place to end it for tonight.
Yeah. I think this is a pretty nice Drivecast. I really enjoyed talking about. It'll be kind of interesting to see how, I guess, a couple things age, like the lawsuit and remakes, but I quite enjoyed this talk about just, I guess, the game industry and its subsections.
I mean, as always, I mean, the future of video gaming is always, you know, there's stuff to be excited about, there's stuff to be worried about, but at the end of the day, as long as people care, as long as, you know, things keep progressing, I think not too much to worry about.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like I said earlier, you know, there's always like those indie devs, you know, there's always that feel like care, like those things to be excited for, you know, and that's
exactly.
What keeps things
like,
I'm still
waiting. I'm still waiting for Deltarune chapters 3 and 4 to come out, because apparently I think chapters 3 and 4 are supposed to come out together. I've been like slowly paying attention to what Toby's been releasing on his what is it, on his website and Twitter /X. I still hate calling it that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always something to look forward to at the very least.
Yeah.
As long as the people care, and as long as the video game devs care enough to at least make it usable, doable.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
In any
well,
case,
thank you, Cheese. I enjoyed that.
yeah, and thanks for coming on. I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting the next episode to be Blosher just because I know he's been wanting to be on forever. It's gonna be really funny when I rub it in his face that he's not gonna be on for another week or two. But also, I know everybody's busy over winter break since everybody's just starting to become busier and busier nowadays, which I don't blame people for. The fact that I even had time for this tonight, the fact that I had to squeeze this in after work is just sad.
I mean, yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, I mean, I started working too, and yeah, I mean, I may play Minecraft, but it's really it. Like that's literally all the time I have for. It's all I can squeeze in. So I get it.
Exactly. And
Well, just
in the future, you'll see him in the server around. Most likely, that's going to be the footage that's in the background to this very video, anyway. So that's going to be exciting. That's going to be a really awkward time. It's very meta the way that I'm self-referencing how I'm going to play the game in the future.
She'd be like, "Oh, hey, look, that's you," but that was you in the past.
Exactly.
But it's also mean.
Anyways,
all the tenses.
Exactly. All right. Thank you everybody for watching. Why am I getting pinged and no mic? Because Masako is talking about Drivecast. Very funny. All right. Thank you everybody for watching. I am going to go into my bot and going to tell it to stop recording. See you guys next time. I don't know who the next guest is going to be. Literally, this is all dependent on who's available and who isn't. All right. Peace out.